If you keep seeing Twitch 1v5 in your games and you feel like you want to get in on the action, then here's a quick guide for the rat that you can watch even in Champion Select. Twitch is a high damage AD carry with the ability to delete entire teams with his long range ambushing ultimate, and easily get into aggressive positions with that stealth, allowing him to get the jump on his enemies. Twitch is extremely squishy and immobile though, so it can be very easy to punish if he does misplay or overextends. If you do want to see Twitch's builds and runes in more detail, then head on over to our website by clicking the top link in the description. There you can find a lot more other information and advice too, like matchups, counters and combos, so don't miss out. Lethal Tempo is by far the best rune to go for on Twitch, giving you that huge attack speed boost and extra range. After that you want to go for Presence of Mind, Legend Alacrity and Coup de Grace. You want to go for Domination second to get Taste of Blood for some healing, and Treasure Hunter to help you snowball as quickly as possible. You want to max your E first, as this deals a ton of damage once you stacked up those poisons. Then go for your Q second and finish off with your W. So first off, let's take a look at those mythic items, and Kraken Slayer is your highest damage option. It gives him a ton of burst potential and also helps him out with that true damage against tankier enemies. Gale Force is another great option though that gives Twitch a bit more mobility and burst damage, and it can really help him out with his lack of escape. Often before your mythic item though, you actually want to rush yourself a Blade of the Ruin King. This item just makes you spike insanely hard. After that and your mythic, you want to go for those items like Runearn's Hurricane, Infinity Edge and Lord Dominus Regards to round off your damage build. There are some other situational damage items too though, like Wit's End, Bloodthirster and Mortal Reminder, and of course those defensive choices too, like Guardian Angel and Mercurial Scimitar. So against easy matchups you can actually look to play pretty aggressively and look to secure some kills early on. Twitch is a bit vulnerable early game, but he snowballs incredibly hard when he's ahead, so any way to get a lead earlier, the quicker you'll get to those power spikes and the easier you're going to be able to carry. Try and stack up your passive on your enemies with your W and your auto attacks and unleash a really strong E at max stacks. You can also use your Q stealth to get the jump on your enemies, and this is a pretty easy way to abuse a matchup advantage. Against harder matchups though, you really just need to focus on not getting too far behind. Twitch can easily become a non-factor if he dies a few too many times in the early game, so instead play safe, farm as much as you can, and consider actually roaming to other lanes with your stealth and use that unique roaming ability to actually carry elsewhere. Twitch works exceptionally well with enchanting supports who can buff his damage, his movement speed, or just simply keep him alive. Twitch struggles massively with mobility and his ability to be punished when he overextends, so anyone that can improve this will help him out massively. Now during the lane phase you want to try and abuse your poisons as much as possible to harass your enemies down. When it's at max stacks your E will do a pretty fair amount of damage, so this is your main way to trade. You can use the stealth on your Q to sneak into lane and get the jump on your lane opponents too. This is a great way to initiate fights and can even help you roam into mid lane, which as we mentioned earlier no other AD carry can really do. When you have your ultimate, you are significantly stronger. Getting level 6 is already a really big power spike for Twitch, so be sure to fight around this ability, as without it you will struggle to compete. As long as you can get through this part of the game though without being too far behind, you should be able to really play to your strengths in the mid game, so just don't int. When it comes to those team fights, your main job is to position yourself so you can pull off the most optimal ultimate ambush. If you time your stealth opener with your teammates engage, you can easily delete entire teams with your ultimate and your E. Remember that you get resets on your Q stealth after killing any enemies, so as long as you start the fight strong, you'll always be insanely effective. You can also look to set up cheeky flanks in your stealth. Now this is an amazing way to assassinate enemies who are overextending, and when you kill them, you just go back into stealth with the reset on your Q. Twitch is still a marksman though, so you will need to remember to still actually play like one. Despite being the fact that you can also assassinate your enemies, you're still extremely squishy and immobile. So keep close to your teammates and your frontliners who can help keep you alive. Don't forget about those defensive cooldowns too. Summoner spells and item actives are pivotal on Twitch, as he is really vulnerable without them. Try and stall those big team fights until you have these up. Let's finish off with a few quick tips. When playing aggressively on Twitch, be super careful of things that can ruin your day by granting vision on you. Scryer's Bloom, turret vision and control wards are all major things to think about. Your stealth has a short delay before kicking in, but you can fake the direction you're going in before this animation starts to make your pathing less predictable and give yourself more chance to escape. You can also use your Q to recall in stealth. Now if you press recall just before you go invisible, this can be a great way to get away safely, especially when recalling at low health under your tower. Thanks for checking out this short guide on Twitch. Enjoy.